Hello, my name is Ethan and welcome back to another Computers with Me. So today I'm going to show you this. So stock 2080 Ti EVGA, I'll go into the rest of it after. 1953, imagine 64 degrees C. This is to go with the other video about the vaults. So imagine you could have 52 instead of 64, and now I'll explain the whole temperature thing. So this is what I was saying about it in the other video, how you don't really give up much performance, but you could really lower the temperature and really and now I'll get into like all the benefits. So basically this isn't just lower frequency, it's lower volts, which then results in the lower frequency, but then you actually average it. Like do you see how this one it dropped like 27, but this one only dropped 14? But then also like the temperature by 12 degrees is like 2 boost bins, so it's another like 30 just in the temperature difference. And then this is average, so it technically went even higher than this. And then you got the memory overclock. This was stock, but the score was 12,367, 11,038. So 1300 for so it's like 10% for huge difference in temperature. And then I have another one. So this was stock 15707, 62, 1927, 1980, 1980. So that's the stock. And then my other one with a vault cap, it only dropped by 15, and then it was pretty much instant. I can show that in a sec. But then yeah, 51, it scored 2k less, but which is less than 20%, but then the temperature is saved by 11, which is 2 boost bins. So then I wanted to, so that was just to show the temperature benefits of the capping the voltage, which isn't really undervolting, and it's mostly just not overvolting, because I feel like the base voltage, the amount that you get at idle is kind of like the stock. This is my true like base stock, and what they have stock is actually already overclocked up to the 1980. Running pretty hot is actually overclocked, and so if you capped it to a lower volt, then this is the result, for example, and this is with a small overclock as well of the memory and the clock. But I want to show that. So first I wanted to show like the actual benefits of the temperature difference of what I was talking about in the other video, because I didn't really show examples of the comparison. So this was stock, and then the score difference, it's not too bad. And then if anything, I actually see benefits in the quality and stuff with this change. But so then yeah, I have to get in, I have to get into this first. So this was the 3D Mark demo I was running, and then there's this one. Yeah, this matches up to this one, and so now we could see it in more detail. And so my highest was 16,949, obviously with the most volts and hot, and but then that was the average, and then this was with the low volts. And then so you could see the GPU and memory just completely stable across, never dropping. And then the CPU's fluctuating because it depends on how many cores I have active. It can boost. That's my Intel boost working. And then yeah, the GPU was so cool. It only reached 54, and it was fully loaded. And then it's actually the voltage cap. So then I'll show that now. So it's pretty simple. Basically, in your, I was showing it in the other video. It was like MSI Afterburner, Precision X1, GPU tweak. In this one specifically, I have the curve, and so this is what I did to it. I deleted the whole curve basically. It just dies right here. And that was based on my idle. So I can idle like 719, 725, and so originally, yeah, I kept 725 and just deleted everything past this. But then now I did 750, so you would like highlight everything, click and drag, and then you would drag it down, and I moved it 700, and then I applied it. There's also, you can, when you have default, you'll see that, yeah, so this was the whole curve. And so then what happens is, this is where I capped it here. And then you could see 750, and it lines up to 1500. And then I added like 100 to it. So that's how I get to like the 1605, 1620. And then the temperature stays way better. And it's because like part of the boosting is the temperature thing. And then that's part of the stability. And then part of the like Oh, you at lower volts you can actually overclock more. So like I was saying, at 1500, I can overclock like 120. But when I was doing higher volts, you can't raise it as high of a, you can't boost it as much because it's already overclocked more. There's less headroom. Where there's more headroom at lower volts because of the temperature, headroom. So then, that was the default curve, and so the point, I'm going to show you something, but first, this I was going to show this. So you could see how even recording, so idle normally I'm like 435, but even recording, I've only hit like 1620, 1608, and that was the max on the volts that was capped. I've uncapped it now, I'm on default, but you can see we hit like 800 on the clock, and I was showing how this one can run up to 1620 at basically the lowest volts possible, basically idle. And so you don't actually need higher volts until past this number. And then like I'm showing, we're actually only using 810 while recording on the GPU with pretty good quality. And then while all this, and then I have all this stuff open too, and then that's pretty good. So I'm not even breaking idle. And then you could see we're actually in the PCI link state, only 5 instead of 8. And then idle is 2.5. So we're not full idling, but yep. And then okay, so yeah, that part's fun. And we have just basic fans, idle fans. Just one fan on, not all three. This is auto fans. Oh, and yeah, this was full auto. You can lower the temps with faster fans, but I just wanted to show it full stock base auto, and then the difference of my like small overclock undervolt thing, which was basically like the other video and this one combined. But I needed to show actual examples because I think some people don't get the benefit. So then my next one was I'm gonna open up a game, and then yeah, give me a sec. Let's see how this goes, because I have to show you something, which I'll start with okay, so let me just first show this, and then I'm gonna reset this, and then so you can already see 0.74, we're hitting 1,000. So this is on the default, this is stock, so we're already pushing higher. Okay, so it's tracking it. Now get ready, we'll do bone bum. I'm not actually gonna play right now, I'm just gonna go into the hideout for a second so we can okay, so the main reason is when I look here, I think it's capped. No, it's being capped because of my G-Sync. It's actually working. Well, it's kind of happening. Okay, so it actually spiked to the 1.6069 on the volts. But then it's using the proper voltage at the idle. But then you can see it spiking higher. But it's actually using... Oh, it's because I alt-tab. It's because of this. That's why. Because I'm trying to do it at... Yeah, okay. Sorry. So without it capped, the G-Sync doesn't cap it. And you go higher. Is it only when I'm in? When I, like, click on it? Wait, is it minimum? Oh, because I had the other setting. One sec. I had one more setting. That'll also change it in the background. But I want to show... This is 3D settings through the NVIDIA control panel about the specific program. I made it so it'll minimize or have minimum background FPS. But now I can't find it in the list. Oh, there it is. Off. Okay. And then I'll do actual PoE. Okay, there we go. Let's restart it. Yeah, this was the extra part. I already show the stuff with the benchmarks, but yeah, the game example for people, it's worth it to stick around, don't worry. Okay, so yeah, 60. I could turn off the G-Sync and whatnot, but you could actually see what happens with that. It's really sick and how consistent it is. But then the crazy part is so my G-Sync's actually working. But you could see it spiked. Like if I like, why would it go to 1 volt, right? Like, why would it go if it why would it need the extra 300, you know? Why would it boost that? But then it's actually not happening right now. Wait, is it once I load a map? Oh, it was maps. It was actually playing the game. My hideout isn't good enough. It was like a blight map and everything else, and okay, but as you could see, yeah, it's just been the 60. Does it drop when I... Oh, you couldn't see the hardware info because I didn't have it. So I need to turn off the G-Sync. It actually works-ish. But it goes above still. No, okay, this is perfect. Okay, I got it. I just needed to load a map. Okay, let me show you now. So instead of this, I do this. And now you can already see it happening. So, I opened a map, and now the game is broken. It didn't happen just in the hideout. No, you had to enter a map, and now it's just boosting and boosting and boosting, and it won't fucking stop. Look, it's cooking itself. Dude, I'm not even... I was literally in... I was minimized. Look! Look! It's going up! What? Look at the core load. So it's not all the core, it's just actually boosting out of its mind. And then you think going back in, does it fix it? No. You wanna know the fix? You're well in the map, I'll do it. And look, even better, I'll do it with just showing you displayed capture. I'm not gonna... So look, it's even here. Okay, ready? So you take my number 4 and you load it. And what is it? The 750 cap. So then you think, well, surely you can't have 60 FPS because you just capped it. It's you were boosting past to have 60. That's all it was, right? And then if anything, when you argue, oh my god, it's actually more stable, dude. How is it 2? This was 3. Wait, you have even more consistent, stable frames, but you capped it? But how would the game run better with capped? That does... What? And how... Oh my god, and... Huh? 2? 2? 2? How... dude, this number... 17 for some people, I think. And then, yeah, just to show even the hideout, and then to show the difference in here. So it's still scuffed a little once you do it, but this is still better than this. And then it's really the heat. When we were hitting this, but now it'll go down. Like, it won't go higher than this. And this is, this is the fan speed. 1 fan, I think. Yeah, 1 fan. It's idle fans. Auto. It actually, yeah, went down. And this is while recording, so this is gonna be good for later, but I wanted to share this with everybody before the season, and some of my findings and GPU stuff and GPU not overclocking, basically. It's like un-overclocking. Like what do you call it when you delete your entire curve and you try to use the least volts? Like you can go even further. I could go to 725 or 719, 713, but like sometimes it jumps a little bit higher to 725, so I just did 750 just to leave a little bit of headroom. And I figured like if I dropped the temperature by 10 degrees, then I could raise it up just a few millivolts, which would be a few boost spins, and I get a bit extra performance back because I've already brought the temp down. Like I got headroom of the temperature again. That's what I meant of like once you figure out your lowest volt, you actually then you have actual headroom again. Yeah. So yeah, either way. That's where even especially when you just find your lowest number and then you delete the whole curve, you only have to deal with a single spot. It never boosts. It doesn't ever have to deal with any other volts. It's just the idle one. So it's a lot, like, it's really easy to test because you just mess with the single number. And like what I mean by testing is because you could raise the number. I raise it in 15, what do they call it? 15 points at a time. Yeah. 15 megahertz, but yeah, I only go 50. I do 15 at a time. Increments. That's the word I was looking for. And then I don't think the other numbers matter. It might depend on which one you have specifically, but yeah, I just go in numbers of 15 for this and MSI Afterburner. And then yeah, I landed on 120, where I was only able to get like 105 in the big, or even like lower maybe. And it even worked on my other card, where I was able to get like an extra 15 or 30 at lower volts than when I did high. And so yeah, you actually have headroom because of the thermal, I'm pretty sure. And then even more consistent frames, because one of the biggest things I've been talking about a lot is that when you have too high of a frequency, it's not the frequency, but it's the volts. And then when you pump the volts with the amps, and then you get the high watt, but it's mostly the volts causing the high temperatures. And then the internals sees the high temps and will throttle the clock, so it will not report in software. It will just secretly hidden drop the clocks by multiple bins, not one. It's not perfect. It just drops it by a large amount, because if it didn't, it'll just crash. And so the better thing they did is they'll just drop it by, let's say, 100 megahertz, 75 megahertz at a time, 5 boost spins, 7 boost spins, right? And so you could actually lose more performance than if you had just dropped the boost a little bit, so it doesn't drop in the first place from hitting the higher temperature. And the reason it hits the higher temperature is in that short burst, it has too much local temperature that it has to throttle to not cook itself too much. It doesn't want to die. It could cook, but it doesn't want to break. And then you have the too much local density of the heat, so you need to technically have it at a lower speed so it could still work, but it doesn't. So then it drops a lot, and then you would prefer to avoid that, where you could see that we never even hit that when we were doing it. We're not hitting a temperature problem. Temps are amazing. We have headroom. That was my whole point. Like low, this is more efficient. This is back to like the Minecraft big reactors being efficient. It's making your card like the most efficient is truly not just the power, it's the performance, power, and the temperature, the heat, because heat is then your AC, which is power, which is efficiency. Also the longevity of your part, your GPU, and then I also saw a side benefit when you lower the heat output of the GPU, which is directly putting heat out into your case. Because the way my GPUs work, the two that I had, or even the few that I've had, is you have a GPU. I guess I should probably get a picture for this so I could show a visual. One sec. Oh, and now I can also mention the one I have, which you probably already know because I listed it before, but yeah, anyways, this, and then this shows from here because I clicked on the thing, which is super annoying. Like, what the hell, dude? Anyways, so yeah, this is the card, the 2080 Ti for the win, Ultra Gaming. So, the main point was the card, these three fans. From my experience, the air blows out through the top. Most like from where I was feeling the heat, it was cooking through the top, and then that hits into my glass of the panel of the case, and then would rise up and out. But in reality, like in theory, like while it's pumping, if it's really pumping a lot of heat because you have the high volts, and let's say you play this game that oh yeah, this was with PoE still open in the background. That's pretty good. Looks pretty good too. So then so then yeah, you have, yeah, when it's pumping the heat with the, if you had the high watts, the high volts especially, dude, you really could be pumping. And then the point is that you could heat the case, and then you could have side problems of you have other things heating up that aren't used to, or you're not used to, and then you could have instability in other ways. With like your CPU, because if this is temperature based, so is your CPU, and then with the boost, and it may have been stable at a lower temperature, but then you get a higher case temp, and now all of a sudden your CPU that was stable at your 5700 is no longer stable, for example. Very possible. And then yes. Yes. Yeah, so that's possible with the stock, but then I have my other one where I'll show you, I guess. This one, same memory and all the other shit, but instead we had goes all the way up to 1900 at only 900 millivolts, and so you were seeing how stock needed like 1069 to hit this, and it's because you just add like 100. And then yeah, technically with the boost it could hit 2025, and I think it was like 2010 stock with 1069, so it's 169 less millivolts, so it's way better temps. Like where it was showing 64, I think I got like a 56. It was like 8 degrees less, but it's still quite hot, and that's with max fans. So yeah, it does pump a lot of heat at the highest, even at 900 millivolts at the higher frequencies. So this is just to get 400 extra. And so if you think of this in just raw frequency, which isn't like completely true because there's some diminishing returns, it's like a 400 over what we had, well, even 300 because it's 1900. Actually, it's 300 over what we had at the 750. And then you could see how I was only able to get 105 at 9, where I could get 120 when I do the 750 millivolts. Yeah. So I actually get an extra boost bin just for doing it lower, and I'm assuming it's a lot of the temp thing, because it doesn't get to the higher temperatures, but also it may have already been slightly lower to start, because it's from the stock that I added 120 to, or added the 105 from, and then yeah, that's clock speed. So yeah, you want the most clock speed you can get, because that's just more performance. If it isn't doing the thing I said about like not reporting it in software about the clock going down, but actually yeah, like look at how like clean this is. It may be a bit delayed, but you can see how it's actually matching up like basically perfectly, and that's like really amazing. Yeah, actually getting all of the performance, like how the effective actually matches the clock. There's no like clock searching. Yeah. That's why yeah, so that's why I started with this though, show the actual real world comparison of just my single card and the difference of my modification and what I recommended and how big of a difference this can make, especially in a game coming up for Path of Exile, Keepers of the Flame. So yeah, either way, let me know if you want the rest of my PoE settings. I got more, but this was more of a GPU video, so I didn't want to bog it down too much. But either way, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know if this was more clear than my previous one about not undervolting or overvolting, which really, yeah, this is my whole point of like, this Not like that low 725, 750 is like normal volting, and then everything past this is overvolting in a way. You could kind of argue up to like 900, and then past 900 would be overvolting, but really you could argue earlier because of just the efficiency, the heat, etc. Like, holy fuck, man, when it's too hot, who wants that? and and then yeah, you if you don't understand the volt heat scaling of why it makes more heat, you should watch my previous vid. I explained the math, but I have the real world examples to show it. And especially I did these ones after the other ones, so I cooked the room and made the ambient worse and then did these. So, yep, it's not optimistic for these. It's actually like trying to make them look bad and then they still did great. Actually did great. And then that's where I highly recommend just running your thing more efficient. And then you could see how the 1600 fits more into like the base boost clock. And it's still overstock. It's still a boost. The 1600 at that low voltage is still a boost. Isn't this crazy, dude? And then it can't go lower than the 713 millivolts anyways. And then I found cards that could go as low as like 625, 637, but yeah, mine's 713 specifically. And I've seen like other cards 800 millivolts lowest. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, either way, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and let me know if you have any good results if you play around with your single minimum lowest or a really low voltage cap on your GPU and how it goes. Thanks so much. Bye.